What's up guys, this is Darkbblue, a gamer who loves Souls-like games, looter games, and every game that involves build making. There are many characters in Granblue Fantasy Relink, but their builds roughly follow a similar pattern, so it is possible to summarize a basic and generic build pattern. In this video, this will be our topic. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now let's dive right into it. A complete build consists of many components contributing to different purposes like DPS or survival. I shall first show you all common build purposes so that they could later serve as the building components. So as far as I understand, you may want to make builds for DPS, survivability, attack environment, and cooldown rotation. Among them, DPS and survivability are straightforward. Then what does attack environment mean? Quite a few characters must rely on doing a certain combo or rotation which might take a long time. Unfortunately, enemies' attack will create obstacles against performing such a complete combo. For example, when Zeta tries to take off with the leap skill, she can be interrupted by a floor area with lava. To solve this problem, the uninterruptibility sigil can help. Other means for a similar purpose, aka creating a better environment for carrying out a complete combo, count as attack environment components as well. As for cooldown rotation, there are mainly three sub-purposes: skill rotation, SBA rotation, and link attack rotation. Now that you know the four common component purposes, here are the steps I use for designing the build. Step 1. Max out DPS. Granblue Fantasy Relink focuses heavily on dealing enough damage, which can be demonstrated by so many DPS check mechanics. So it's not wise to have only one DPS characters and 3 supporters in a team. More commonly, we tend to have at most one supporter only. Therefore, basically every character needs to max out DPS. But how to max out DPS? As you may know, there is something called damage cap in Granblue Fantasy Relink. You have to lift this cap, otherwise your damage is limited. So do make sure you have 4 level 15 damage cap sigils. Paired with the Terminus weapon at max awakening level, you can reach the max skill level of damage cap, which is 65. Afterwards, have 1 to 2 basic DPS sigils to make sure you can reach this lifted cap. Use 1 crit chance sigil to get max crit chance, then equip supplementary damage, war elemental or glass cannon to bypass or further lift this damage cap. Thanks to the damage cap mechanic, you don't have to equip DPS sigils for all 12 slots. You can still have enough room for the other 3 build purposes. So step 2, basic survivability. Guards, auto-revive, and potion holder, good for everyone. Step 3, attack environment. This is important, but the actual solution varies a lot. It depends on the mechanics of each unique character. For example, though Zeta needs the uninterruptibility sigil, Vasaraga and Percival have this ability by themselves, so they don't need a sigil for it. All in all, the first 3 steps are generic. Max out DPS, ensure basic survivability, and create a good attack environment. This is what every character needs for a build. But things don't stop here. We still have the last step to go. So far, you have only ensured the basic part of survivability and not considered cooldown rotation at all. That's what step 4 is about. But still, it depends on the unique mechanics of each character. For example, Zeta needs to stay aerial, and blocking in the air will cause her to fall back to the ground. So I tend to have improved dodge instead of improved guard for more survivability. However, since Vasaraga gains invulnerability from a skill, improving skill rotation is improving his survivability. That's illustration for how to personalize your step 4. Now combining all 4 steps together, you have a full guideline for designing the build while retaining the uniqueness and difference of each character. Of course, I believe you also want some advice for team composition, so here's some. As said, Granblue Fantasy Relink requires DPS. In a team, everyone needs to deal damage. So when we talk about team composition, we are talking about what each character can do for the whole team after they deal their due amount of damage. Basically, all supporting effects come from either active skills or each character's personal sigils, so you only need to check them to see how a character can support a team. I divide its supporting effects into these categories. DPS support, like attack bonus or defense down on enemies. Survival support, like defense up on you or attack down on enemies. Rotation support, mainly meaning the ability to give a character's own SVA gauge to other teammates. Control support such as slow or frozen, and lastly, the skills to eliminate your debuff or an enemy's buff. Among all the categories, DPS support is at present not very useful since we already hit the damage cap, but other categories all can contribute to the team. Does this mean that you need a good team composition based on the supporting functions? Well, I don't think so. You can consider how a character can better support the team after you have decided to use him or her, but you don't really have to pick the character according to supporting effects from the beginning. It seems this game encourages you to team with random co-op players or your favorite characters by our design as AIs, where you cannot really control the team composition. Now let's have a recap. I have shown the 4 common purposes for build components, then they are organized into 4 steps to guide your build design. Finally, I show you that although a character may support the team in various ways, you don't really have to consider too much about team composition. If you like my story or want to join me into depth of games, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.